Hello there folks, my name's Ben and welcome to another Shots Fired Airsoft video, and today I've got an unboxing for you of the KJWorks G23. Now this is a little sort of miniature Glock, and I'm quite a fan of these cheaper end Glocks. I think they're a great little airsoft pistol for a beginner and someone looking to get into airsoft. Don't cost the earth. This is about 60 quid or so, so very much in the same vein as the R17, which I use as pretty much as my day-to-day airsoft pistol, along with my Dragon 7 by WE. And this was actually given to me by a chap called John, who's a very he's been a bit of a friend to me over the sort of last 6 months or so, and he's bought a couple of pistols off me. He's modified a couple. He does IPSC shooting, and he'll essentially modify a pistol for accuracy and power rather than you know, sort of a CQB or outdoors airsofting. So he actually ended up well, this was my first contact with John. He actually sold this to me, and yeah, I'm finally getting around to unboxing it. This is essentially brand new. It's never been fired. It's pretty much he ended up with it and never used it. So we're going to get in, have a little look at the box and see what we've got. It's actually quite a nice printed box. A lot less bland than a lot of the sort of cheaper end army armament packaging, and we do have a little bit of information, mainly a huge warning, and yeah, product is for training purpose only, not shooting your mates apparently, which is kind of what Airsoft's about. So in here we have a user manual for a G27, and I'm guessing that this has, yeah, mostly the operation, racking the slide, don't shoot in upside down positions, how to adjust the hop, which is a dial style hop, sort of like a standard Glock would be, or airsoft Glock. And then we do actually have an exploded diagram, which is always nice to see. How to apply oil to the gun, and then in the front of the manual, which I managed to skip, we do have the usual collection of safety warnings, and then we have a full listing of parts on the back, and then we have what I can only imagine is, yes, an addendum to the original manual, and this is for the specific parts list for the G23 and specific exploded diagrams, and that gives us the G23 specific parts guide, which is there. Now, so in the box we have still got the original box of BBs. These might actually be usable. KJWorks makes decent quality gear. They are certainly not worse. They are a Taiwanese company, as you'll see on this gun, and they are one of the sort of better and more well-known makes. Still not going to break the bank in most situations, but they are quite a decent weapon. So we're just going to put the gun to the side. This is the magazine. I believe it's stubbier than the usual sort of G17, J18C mag. So holds slightly less rounds. I'm not entirely sure how many rounds it is. I'll find out in a bit. However, this actually gives us a lovely little full metal magazine. We've got plastic lips, removable base plate, and you can see it says KJWorks Taiwan on the bottom there, and it all looks very nicely made. It feels very nice and smooth. We've got the usual Glock indentations, so the scale indentations for the rounds. So this looks like it would hold 16 rounds in real life, or if it was a real steel weapon. And we have quite an unusual shaped, very thin, long, narrow gas router, which I'm not entirely sure whether this would go in. Well, I mean, it probably wouldn't go in a normal R17 or G17 because it's too short. Probably hit the base plate. But I will test and see if this will take R17 mags or G17 mags. So with that out of the way, let's have a little look at the weapon itself, still in its original bag. And yeah, it instantly reminds me of the R17 in its build. Polymer slide, polymer frame, much like the real weapon, which of course is well, it's a polymer framed weapon. It's obviously not a plastic slide in real life. If we just pop the slide off a sec, it comes off nice and easy. You will see something that looks very familiar, just maybe a smaller version. So we have our little guide rod assembly, which will eventually pop out. We have quite a bit of a difference there. We've got a metal brace at the front of the guide rod and spring assembly, and then it will pop out as per usual. A little bit of lube on there. This is a plastic outer barrel, and in it we have, if I can tease it out, a little short barrel and a very, well, actually un-TM looking hop unit. We have a single screw holding it in the center, and yes, this is quite a bit different looking to a normal G17 from something like a TM. I'll just pop that back in there because I'm immediately taking the thing apart out of interest. There we are. Nice and responsive nozzle there, considering this is out the factory, so we've got no fancy spring or anything in there. That is a nice free nozzle, and it returns very well, so it should be quite snappy loading successive rounds. And this is a very light slide, but the blowback unit is really heavy. I can feel the weight of the blowback unit in the back of there. So if I just pop this back together, we'll have a look at the gun as a whole and the frame before I actually put the slide back on. It does go back together nice and easy. It does have a little toe on the end of the guide rod assembly, so I'm guessing we go barrel end first, and then let it sit back in its little locating pin, which keeps the guide rod nice and located. Should be good for a smooth action. Right, the hammer in this is a full rolling bearing, so we don't have kind of like a U-shaped or a flat topped that just slides along the bottom of the blowback unit. Apart from that, it looks to be relatively standard G17. We've got our standard trigger and trigger assembly, our usual long G series trigger pull, as you can see there, but it does feel alright for a Glock style weapon. You do have a huge trigger pull, but the brake is nice, very communicative. You know when it's going to go, so you can pre-tense the trigger and then pop it. We do have metal internals, metal trigger assembly, a hammer assembly, sorry. The trigger is plastic in this. And all in all, not a bad looking little weapon on the inside. Like I say, these are very cheap. Fits back together lovely. Nice and snappy. You do get the little G series hang up on the way back in, but that is standard for all. The hop does hang on to the nozzle nicely, so we should have a decent air seal when we're firing it, as you can see there. Sights, standard white white painted sights, which is nice. We have the frame safety like we get on most Glocks, and we have serrations and grip essentially on the front of the trigger for essentially keeping your index finger of your left hand in place on the back of the grip. These are not removable back straps or anything on this particular weapon, but it does have a nice grip. My hands are slightly too large for it because I do have large hands, so I can get one finger, two finger, and the third finger kind of wants to sit slightly off the bottom of the mag. So if you have got larger hands, you may slightly struggle handling the weapon, but it's all not too bad. In terms of trades, we essentially have no trades apart from we've got a KJ at the bottom of the grip. We've got a gas blowback system read manual before use on the bottom of the other side of the grip, and then we've got made in Taiwan KJWorks, which is KJWorks obviously. So with all being said and done, I'm going to get this weighed up, because it is quite a light weapon. The mag is nice and heavy, but this is a light overall weapon, ideal for a smaller player perhaps. And then we're going to put, well, we've got gas in the mag, but I am going to gas it the rest of the way up and see how she cycles. Back in a sec. There we are. This is why I use the towel, because this is a black desk, so it's not always the easiest thing to see anything on. So if I just tear that off again. Okay, yeah, that's more like it. So that gives us a weight of 357 grams, which is quite a light little piece. And if I pop the mag in, that gives us an all-up weight of 622 grams. So it is about 100 grams lighter than a normal sort of G17 Glock style weapon, with the smaller mag, smaller overall size. It is a very small weapon. It's about the size of my hand in length and about the width of my hand in length. So it does fit nicely in the hand. I must admit, with the mag in, it does give me somewhere to put my little finger. It is slightly still uncomfortable because this bottom ridge intersects the finger. So yeah, like I say, if you are, you know, a larger handed person, you may struggle with this. So I'm just going to grab my gas, make sure she's got a top open. Lovely. Takes gas fuel nice and silently there. We have nothing in the mag. Don't think there's anything in the chamber. I'm just going to fire it away from me just in case. But we should see what she's like. Very nice snappy sound. Very quick lock back there. Yeah, that's going to be very satisfying to use. It sounds great. Got a very snappy cycle to it, as you'd expect out of a plastic gas pistol, and that is running on full green gas. So we'll see how the longevity is during the firing test, and I hope you'll join me for that. I've really actually quite enjoyed looking at this. I do like the sort of cheaper end plastic Glocks, because they are very cost effective in what they do. The G series platform, when you actually look at it as an airsoft weapon, it's nowhere near as suited to airsoft as, say, the conversion from like a real life sort of high capper or 2011 style weapon to airsoft, because the floating barrel, which drops as you pull back the slide, and also the way that the hammer functions. Like I say, you always get that slight hang up, which isn't that bad on this particular weapon, but on some Glocks, on some airsoft Glocks, is absolutely horrendous. So in general, it's pretty good. This one makes light work of some of the more the bigger issues that airsoft G series platforms tend to have. So I'll be looking forward to getting the firing test done on this. So thank you for joining me for this video, and I'm going to move along now, and we're going to get a little firing test done, and we're also going to do a firing test on the modified high capper that we built with the Make It 3D parts in the other video, and I'm going to do them both at the same time. So expect those videos in pretty close sequence. Well, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.